The Ethiopian Jews, who are they today? The Beta Israel, or Ethiopian Jews, are a remarkable community whose history is steeped in mystery, faith, and resilience. Their journey, from ancient origins shrouded in legend to their dramatic return to Israel, weaves a captivating tale of cultural preservation and identity against the odds. As we reveal the story of the Beta Israel, we uncover a fascinating tapestry of ancient traditions, mysterious origins, and unwavering faith. Their journey stands as a testament to the endurance of cultural identity and the unyielding power of belief across centuries. The Beta Israel, Ethiopia's Jewish legacy. Nestled in the highlands of Ethiopia, far from the traditional heartlands of Judaism, lies a remarkable community known as the Beta Israel, or Ethiopian Jews. Their history is as ancient as it is enigmatic, blending Jewish traditions with the unique cultural elements of the Ethiopian landscape. The Beta Israel have long been a subject of intrigue for historians, scholars, and religious leaders, not only because of their enduring faith, but also because of the mysteries surrounding their origins. The Beta Israel claimed descent from the lost tribe of Dan, one of the 10 tribes exiled from the Kingdom of Israel after its fall in the 8th century BCE. Some also trace their lineage to the union of King Solomon and the Queen of Sheba, suggesting a connection that predates even the destruction of the First Temple. Regardless of their precise origins, the Beta Israel have preserved Jewish practices such as observing the Sabbath, circumcision, dietary laws, and celebrating Jewish festivals, albeit with unique Ethiopian interpretations. For centuries, the Beta Israel were isolated from other Jewish communities, relying on oral traditions and their sacred texts, including the Orit, a Ge'ez translation of the Torah. Their separation led to the development of practices that, while distinctly Jewish, also reflect Ethiopia's rich cultural heritage. However, this isolation often subjected them to discrimination and marginalization within Ethiopian society, as they were wrongly labeled falasha, meaning strangers or exiles. Despite these challenges, the Beta Israel's commitment to their faith never wavered. In the late 20th century, dramatic events unfolded that reshaped their story. Through daring operations such as Operation Moses, 1984, and Operation Solomon, 1991, thousands of Ethiopian Jews were airlifted to Israel, marking a return to their ancestral homeland after millennia. Today, the Beta Israel community continues to grapple with the complexities of integration into modern Israeli society, while preserving their unique identity and rich heritage. The story of the Beta Israel is not just a tale of survival, but also a testament to the enduring power of faith and cultural identity. It is a legacy that bridges ancient traditions with contemporary challenges, offering a profound reflection on the diversity and resilience of the Jewish diaspora. Origin: a kingdom divinely chosen. The origins of the Beta Israel, which means House of Israel, are steeped in both myth and mystery. Many in the community believe their ancestors arrived in Ethiopia with the Queen of Sheba, a legendary figure who, according to biblical accounts, visited King Solomon in Jerusalem. Some even say they are descended from the tribe of Dan, one of the 10 lost tribes of Israel, exiled after the Assyrian conquest around 722 BCE. One of the most compelling origins comes from the Kebra Nagast, the Glory of Kings, an ancient Ethiopian manuscript. It describes how the Queen of Sheba, after visiting Solomon, gave birth to a son, Menelik I, who became the first emperor of Ethiopia. This story suggests a sacred connection between Ethiopia and Israel, with a royal lineage that would carry on through the centuries. Whether or not this account is entirely historical, it's clear that Ethiopian Jews have a deeply embedded spiritual heritage tied to ancient Israel. Another compelling narrative traces the Beta Israel's ancestry to the tribe of Dan, one of the fabled 10 lost tribes scattered following the Assyrian conquest of the northern kingdom of Israel in the 8th century BCE. According to this tradition, members of the tribe migrated southward, eventually settling in the Ethiopian highlands. Scholars have proposed additional theories, suggesting that the community might be descendants of Jewish merchants or migrants who arrived in the region during the early centuries of the Common Era. Others argue that the Beta Israel might represent a localized adoption of Jewish customs and faith, influenced by ancient interactions with Judaic traditions. Regardless of the specifics, the Beta Israel have maintained a connection to Jewish practices and identity that spans millennia. Their origins remain a testament to the dynamic interplay of migration, faith, and cultural adaptation that defines their history. Isolation in the highlands, a Jewish diaspora. For centuries, Beta Israel lived in relative isolation from the rest of the Jewish world. The rugged terrain of northern Ethiopia shielded them from both Christian and Muslim influence, preserving their unique practices. Their customs, such as observing the Sabbath, following kosher dietary laws, and practicing circumcision on the 8th day, mirror those of ancient Jewish traditions. In fact, they maintained a form of Judaism that was much closer to what was practiced in biblical times, before the temple was destroyed in 70 CE. Despite their isolation, the Beta Israel always believed in their connection to the lost tribes of Israel. Yet, they were not entirely cut off from the world. They had occasional interactions with Jewish merchants and travelers from Yemen, Egypt, and even Jerusalem. But these connections were sporadic. It wasn't until the late 19th and early 20th centuries that the wider Jewish world began to take notice of this ancient community. The struggle for recognition and return. For much of their history, the Beta Israel were misunderstood, both by their neighbors and the wider Jewish world. They faced discrimination from both Ethiopian Christians and Muslims, who viewed their religious practices as unorthodox. The Ethiopian Orthodox Church even denied their Jewish roots, calling them falasha, a derogatory term meaning stranger or outsider. Despite these challenges, the Beta Israel continued to thrive. Their communal bonds were strong, and they remained dedicated to their faith and traditions. They built synagogues, followed the Torah, and celebrated Jewish festivals such as Passover and Yom Kippur. In the 20th century, the plight of the Beta Israel began to capture the attention of the Jewish world. In 1975, Israel officially recognized them as Jews, acknowledging their long-standing connection to the Jewish people. This was a pivotal moment for the community, as it sparked the beginning of a massive immigration effort to Israel. Operation Moses, a dramatic exodus. In the 1980s, with political unrest rising in Ethiopia, the Beta Israel faced increasing persecution. The Derg regime, a Marxist government, sought to suppress religious minorities, and famine ravaged the country. It was at this critical juncture that the Israeli government launched Operation Moses in 1984, a covert mission to rescue Ethiopian Jews and bring them to Israel. For weeks, thousands of Beta Israel made a perilous journey across the Sudanese desert, where they were secretly airlifted to Israel. Over 8,000 Ethiopian Jews were brought to Israel in a series of covert operations that included not only airlifts but also hidden bus journeys across hostile territories. A few years later, in Operation Solomon, 1991, another dramatic rescue took place, bringing over 14,000 Ethiopian Jews to Israel in just 36 hours. A feat that remains a testament to their resilience and the determination of those who fought for their right to return to their ancestral homeland. If you are getting value from this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support us in bringing you more insightful content. Another thing we are going to talk about is the unique customs of the Beta Israel, a window into the past. The Beta Israel's customs are a fascinating blend of biblical traditions and Ethiopian cultural influences, making their practices uniquely distinct among Jewish communities. Here are some of the most intriguing aspects of their heritage. 1. Torah-centered life. The Beta Israel follow a religious lifestyle that resembles ancient Judaism before the destruction of the Second Temple. Their sacred text, known as the Orit, consists of the Torah and portions of other biblical books, including Joshua, Judges, and Ruth, translated into the ancient Ethiopian language of Ge'ez. Priests, Kesok. Unlike Rabbinic Judaism, the Beta Israel are led by priests called Kesok, who act as spiritual leaders, teachers, and judges. Focus on purity. Strict rules of purity govern daily life. For example, women stay in separate huts during menstruation and after childbirth, as described in Leviticus. 2. Sabbath observance. The Sabbath is a central aspect of Beta Israel's religious life. They abstain from work and spend the day in prayer and reflection. Unlike other Jewish traditions, they refrain from lighting fires entirely, even for cooking, on the Sabbath. 3. Unique holidays. The Beta Israel observe many Jewish festivals, but with their own distinct practices. Sigd, Festival of Supplication. Perhaps the most unique celebration, Sigd is a day of prayer, fasting, and renewal, observed 50 days after Yom Kippur. Historically, the Beta Israel would climb a mountain to pray, symbolizing the biblical Mount Sinai. Today, it has become a national holiday in Israel, celebrated in Jerusalem with thousands of Ethiopian Jews gathering to reaffirm their faith and unity. Passover, Fasika. The Beta Israel celebrate Passover with special reverence. They do not use any leavened bread for the entire week and perform a ritual slaughter of a lamb in a way reminiscent of the ancient temple sacrifices. Other festivals. They celebrate Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, and Sukkot, but do not traditionally celebrate Purim or Hanukkah, as these events occurred after their separation from mainstream Judaism. 4. Dietary laws. The Beta Israel strictly adhere to kosher dietary laws. However, their traditions are more aligned with biblical commandments than rabbinic interpretations. They avoid eating meat and dairy together and slaughter animals in a ritual manner. Pork and shellfish are strictly forbidden. They also refrain from consuming food prepared by non-Jews, preserving their cultural and religious identity in a predominantly non-Jewish Ethiopia. 5. Marriage and family. Marriage within the Beta Israel community is traditionally seen as a sacred bond. Weddings are joyous events involving traditional Ethiopian music, dance, and feasting. Polygamy was practiced historically, but faded over time due to cultural shifts and influences from Israel, celebrating their story in modern Israel. When the Beta Israel arrived in Israel, they brought their vibrant customs, food, and music, which have become an integral part of Israeli culture. Despite initial struggles with integration, their contributions are now widely celebrated, and their unique story has become a source of national pride. 1. Sigd in Jerusalem. Sigd has become a key celebration both for Ethiopian Jews and the broader Israeli public. Thousands gather at the Armon Hanatziv promenade in Jerusalem to pray, sing, and celebrate their heritage. Israeli leaders now participate in the festival, acknowledging the Beta Israel's cultural and historical importance. 2. Ethiopian cuisine in Israeli food culture. Traditional Ethiopian dishes such as injera, a sourdough flatbread, and doro wat, spicy chicken stew, have gained popularity in Israel. Ethiopian restaurants and food festivals showcase their rich culinary traditions. 3. Contributions to Israeli society. The younger generation of Beta Israel has made significant strides in various fields, from the military to the arts. Military service. Ethiopian Israelis serve in elite units of the Israel Defense Forces, IDF. Some have risen to high ranks, becoming role models for their community. Arts and music. Ethiopian Israeli artists like singer Eden Aline, Israel's representative for Eurovision 2020 and 2021, celebrate their heritage through music. Fourth, museums and educational programs. Israeli museums and cultural centers have established exhibitions dedicated to Ethiopian Jewish heritage. These programs educate the public about their journey, struggles, and unique customs. Challenges and resilience. While the Beta Israel community has made remarkable progress, they still face challenges, including discrimination and socio-economic inequality. Protests for racial justice and equality have become a way to voice their concerns and demand better integration. A story of strength and identity. The Beta Israel's journey from the highlands of Ethiopia to the bustling cities of Israel is a testament to their unwavering faith and resilience. Their unique customs, now celebrated across Israel, serve as a reminder of the diversity within the Jewish people and the enduring strength of cultural identity. Modern-day Beta Israel, a community reborn. Today, the Beta Israel community is alive and thriving in Israel. They now number around 140,000, many of whom live in cities like Tel Aviv and Be'er Sheva. Their transition to Israel, however, has not been without challenges. They have faced discrimination and cultural clashes with other Jewish communities, particularly the more established Ashkenazi and Sephardic Jews. While they have embraced modernity, many still hold on to their ancient traditions, preserving the unique customs of their forefathers. Synagogues, schools, and cultural organizations dedicated to Beta Israel heritage help them maintain a connection to their roots. In recent years, the younger generation has increasingly embraced their Ethiopian Jewish identity, celebrating their heritage through music, dance, and art. They have also made significant contributions to Israeli society, with members of the community serving in the military, government, and academia. A nation of legacy and faith. The story of the Beta Israel is more than just a tale of survival. It's a narrative of faith, determination, and an unbreakable connection to an ancient past. From the highlands of Ethiopia to the shores of Israel, the Beta Israel community has journeyed through centuries of hardship, exile, and hope, proving that even in the face of adversity, the spirit of a people remains strong. In conclusion, the story of the Beta Israel is one of faith, survival, and cultural persistence. From their mysterious origins to the preservation of Jewish traditions in Africa, they represent a unique chapter in Jewish history. Despite isolation, discrimination, and displacement, they have stayed true to their identity, rooted in ancient beliefs and customs that continue to inspire. Their return to Israel in the late 20th century marked the culmination of a journey that connected Ethiopia's highlands to the biblical Promised Land. This journey continues as they work to integrate into modern Israeli society while preserving their heritage. The Beta Israel demonstrate the resilience of the human spirit and the power of cultural identity to transcend borders. Their saga is a universal tale of perseverance, belonging, and hope. If you've been inspired by this, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach more people with stories like this. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next thought-provoking video.